640.
West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Y2K, how can we prepare?
Stop a few of their machines and radios, throw them into darkness for a few hours.
We are fighting for our lives. My family must survive.
Food for 5 years. 1,000 gallons of gas, air filtration, water filtration.
Hey guys, Toolman Tim here, coming back at you from the beautiful state that is Tennessee. Tonight will be the last night that we are in Tennessee. Today, yesterday, last night around 10 o'clock, just as the power company shut the power off due to a planned power outage, was when we were finishing up at the Living Free in Tennessee Spring 2023 workshop. What has become an annual tradition is us to get on here when we are exhausted. I guess it was just me last year with you hollering in the background. And now I have my beautiful wife who has become a partner on this at times with me, which is incredible. So we decided that, hey, Byron Roberts, we decided that we needed to get one more live in before we left Tennessee, didn't we, Darylyn?
Yes.
Yes. So we did okay. We had a good night's sleep last night, but we're coming off the high that was the high and the lows that was Living Free in Tennessee Spring Workshop 2023. How you feeling?
I'm still tired.
Are you? Yeah. I think we slept till, I slept till after 9 and you slept till 10:30 this morning. Yeah. So it was good. We needed it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still not caught up yet, though.
Not at all. So we'll give you an overview of what went on, and then or at least the schedule and what we did. It was great to see all of our close friends. Just absolutely incredible. But we showed up on Wednesday around lunchtime here to Tennessee. Got out there around supper time. So it was Wednesday night. We were there till 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
I think it was a little earlier. I think it was like 8:30.
8:30. Got to see everybody. We just had sausages and sat around the fire and shot the shit, which is what we do a lot of when we see all of our fellow
and there wasn't
freedom fighters.
A ton of people there on Wednesday.
Definitely not. No, I mean, most people show up on Thursday. Yeah. That's the official open of the event. So we did Wednesday. Then Thursday was the first day of presentations.
Yes.
It was a great day. Was Thursday the rain day? No, Friday was the rain day. So Thursday was beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. We stayed till 9:30, 10 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Friday is the party night, isn't it?
Yes.
Friday and Saturday. And Friday. Yeah. Anyway, so Friday night, we had a wonderful time, stayed up. Well, that was the day I spoke. That was the only day we had any real rain, wasn't it, Darylyn?
Yes.
Friday was. So we had a little bit of rain on Friday. And then, I spoke Friday night. Then Saturday, Friday we stayed till.
I'm trying to figure this out.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We stayed till about midnight, didn't we?
Yeah, Friday, yeah.
Our asses didn't get to sleep until 1:30, which is
I was like 2 o'clock.
Yeah, 2 o'clock. My brother Joel Riles introduced me to the joys of cigar smoking. Decided to try that, so that was
I forgot to get the patches from Joel.
Oh yes, yeah. We'll pick some up from him. We'll see him at Self-Reliance Festival. Yeah. And then last evening, yesterday was another full day of presentations. John Willis showed up to give his presentation. I did a round table with Joel Riles and Sean Mills on entrepreneurship, and we stayed there till 10 o'clock again last night, which doesn't sound late, but by the time you've got 4 nights of here's the thing. We say partying. It's not really partying. What it is being around like-minded folk. So if you've never done an in-person meetup like this, it absolutely energizes you, doesn't it, babe?
It does. And like it's fun and exciting and energizing, but it's exhausting at the same time.
I've told it to everybody, and you'll know when you're there. I'm there to talk to as many people as want to talk to me, and I have a grand time doing it. But there's times when you just got to sneak off and find alone time or just a quiet chat with somebody one-on-one for a bit, isn't it?
And I think Nicole's trying to kill me with that steep driveway.
Oh yes, the driveway is steep. Yeah,
Nicole,
you did good.
We need an escalator. Like going up it and down it about 15 times, but when you get to like 30 times, it's like, okay, I'm done.
And the crazy thing was, when we were in Camden, the weather was giving a shit ton of rain, just tons of rain. Every day we'd watch them when it kept getting pared back. We ended up so Friday, while I was speaking, right, we had about 2 hours while I was speaking, and who spoke before me? Do you remember? No, I was first, and then
No, Hawkeye was first, wasn't he? And then you went after him?
That was yesterday.
That was
yeah.
just,
So maybe it was Nicole. I think it was Nicole who did.
Nicole was after you.
Yeah. So I opened up on Friday with, "Hey, Spags." So guys, I just got an email saying that if I get this wrong, I'm sorry, Spags. The Midwest Midwest Preparedness. It's not Expo. Anyway, they just had their big shindig for spring up there. And unofficially, there's a good chance I'm going to be there. I think officially there's an even better chance for the fall one. So if you guys can make it up there, I can't wait because from what I hear, they have an incredible community. So their Midwest event was the same time that Nicole's spring workshop was. We had a blast. So where do we start? What do we start with? So like I said, Wednesday night was just chill and sausages. Thursday was speakers, which was great.
Yep.
Now, there is an event that Nicole does. And I told you, there is power in getting together with like-minded folk. That is what we love. It energizes us. I wasn't quite as sad leaving this time, knowing that we'll be back soon. I think being anchored in Tennessee, having some land has made a difference for us, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, Thursday, Nicole does a 5-minute story time where they give you 5 minutes or less to get up in front of everyone and tell your story. And I was really proud of my beautiful wife because she went and because last year was our first in-person meetup. Yep. We'll have to go back and watch our recording from last year because
I didn't.
You weren't on there. You were next to me, and I had you talking a little. I remember, Miss Rebecca Cook here. She had it in her head. She kind of asked me like, "What are you bringing me to? Are you bringing me to a terrorist training camp? Or are you bringing me to a whole bunch of because up until that point, all of you folks out there were imaginary internet friends to me.
Yeah.
And Becky, she would talk to me once in a while, like, what are you doing? Talking to your imaginary internet friends again? I said, no, here's what we're going to do. We're going down there and we're going to meet up with like-minded folk. And of course you supported me on that. I dragged you kicking and screaming. And by the time we left, we were both a little teary-eyed walking down the hill.
I think, no, it was the whole, I can't think of the word.
Yeah, what was it, baby doll? Hi, Andrea. Good to see Andrea Snow. We just spent a ton of time fellowshipping around the fire with her and Russ.
No, you made like a deal with me that you would take me to Daytona.
That's right. I had to split it with you. That's right.
Yeah.
So,
I can't think of the word. Barter.
Yeah, it was a barter. Yeah, we made a bargain.
We
I said, hey, I will take you to Florida for a week. We'll sit on the beach. If you come back and hang out with a bunch of my crazy hillbilly anarchist type friends.
Yes.
Turned out that, Daytona was nice and all, but the highlight was definitely spring workshop last year. So we get through. So Thursday, So Mrs. Cook, I go back, I digress. It was a great time. And last year, like I said, you're a bit more of a wallflower. You sat back, you kind of got a feel for it. And hey, Uncle Benny says, LOL, imaginary internet terrorist friend training camp. Yes, that's what, right? So anyway, she wondered who we were getting into, what we were getting into, who we were hanging out with. And then we showed up, and what did they have? An outhouse full of sawdust to shit and piss in. And then she really wondered what it was. And now she's now she's an old hat at using that sawdust outhouse. Except
for when the sawdust gets inside your pants and then you're walking around trying to pull it out of your.
She's like, I promise I don't have crabs or anything.
I'm not picking a
wedgie. Yeah, but you got So anyway, she's gotten used to it. Yeah. So it's been good. So anyway, slide back. Last year, wallflower. Got used to it, but
I had to
still a little bit,
and I had to feel everyone out too.
Yeah, absolutely. Get used to everybody.
I don't judge people, but I'm very observant.
Yeah, sure.
You want to make sure who you're talking to and who you're mingling with before, and I've been like that my whole life.
Absolutely, and that's fair because as much as you trust me, at the same time, all of my interactions with everyone had been through live stream, Zello.
Yeah.
And
you don't know if it's going to be like some crazy type of cult that I didn't know you signed forms to, and we get down there and all of a sudden all our belongings belong to them, and we have to wear these crazy robes.
White robes. Yep. Andrea said the sawdust in the pants was awesome. It was, yeah.
It scratches hard.
Yeah, I bet it does. You
Especially when it gets like in the underwear. And then you're just, and then it looks like you're picking at your butt the whole night and you can't get it out.
So I want to share Becky's transformation, as I said. So going from 2022 to 2023, she looked at me, and when Nicole said, I want you to do, or I want everyone to, anybody who wants to, we don't force anyone to sign up and do your 5-minute story. And Mrs. Cook hopped right up like one of the very first people. She was so excited. She said, "Hun, put my name on the board." Kind of. Yeah. No, she really did. Yeah.
Kind of. I was still reserved.
Big bad John Dowie. Look at those hooligans. Good to have you, brother. Always appreciate you. You're reserved, but I recorded it. So I'll share that in the Telegram group at some point. Mrs. Cook got up and in front of everybody took command of the microphone and shared her story. Now, that wasn't all. She, of course, she said, "You need to make sure you introduce me to John Willis, because I talk all the time about how John Willis inspires the hell out of me." And so I made sure I took her over and introduced her. And John had heard about Becky's plans for franchising the daycare, and he was pretty impressed with that. So she wanted to make sure I introduced her to everybody I could. But on the final day, so we also have what they call salons. I'm not sure where that term comes from, but it's just basically impromptu teaching sessions. So anybody who has something to share signs up on the board, and for the last hour of teaching during the day, people just join up with that and they teach. Nicole did a fermentation. Someone did a ham radio. Tactical took them up and showed them the chicken coop, all of that. And Mrs. Cook taught her own group of 4 other women. Was it 4 or 5? Yeah.
But I find with the salons, it's a little bit hard because you don't have an agenda, right? So like it's hard. And I think I was just throwing a whole bunch of like random information. I hope somebody pulled something. They did.
So, they did. Andrea was in on it, right?
Yes.
You had Andrea. You had Mindy. You had Mama.
No, Mindy wasn't there.
Andrea,
Mama Sauce.
Who else did you have?
Trish.
Yep, Trish. Mrs. Rich.
And I can't remember the other lady's name.
So Andrea, for the record, says she learned so freaking much from Becky during her salon. So there you go. So she definitely,
Thank you, Andrea.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Andrea and Rich. We've got to go down, or Russ. I just called him Rich. Andrea and Russ. We need to go down and meet up with them in person. We've never been to Texas yet, so we will. Haas says, "Oh man," he said, "just finishing up your poverty mindset vid. Got 20 minutes left, then you come on live." We had to do it tonight because there's something about recording when everything is fresh. It's our time capsule, so you can go back and watch it, and hopefully other people grab a hold of the vibe or the vibration that comes off us, because no matter how exhausted you are, it's absolutely worth doing. So you spent an entire hour chatting with women, sharing what you have.
Yep.
And sounds like Nicole talked you into coming to Self-Reliance Festival with me.
Yes.
And it sounds like Mrs. Cook is going to be part of a female entrepreneurship roundtable at Self-Reliance Festival.
I think
which
so.
means think so. Sounds like it to me. There ain't no thinking about it. You're going to do it. No, I won't force you.
No, I'll do it.
But yeah, Haas says we look tired. We are tired, Haas. We are tired. Probably won't be as long as some nights here tonight, but we wanted to get on and talk to you. So that's pretty cool, because that's 100 to 200 people in one. I mean, there's lots more than that there, and that never even phased you. You're like, yeah, I'll do it. Sure, why not?
Well, I got to go down there and see where I'm going to build on the compound there.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about that. All of it.
Well, because like you always say that John's a doer.
Oh, he's a doer. Yeah, you guys all know. So I'm
going to go down
John's
there and ask him why he doesn't have my building done yet.
Because you want to start a daycare there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there you go. See, Andrea. Andrea just said, "Funny enough, Russ and I recorded a podcast on the drive home. Still driving. Good to have you." That's still not an excuse for us not being on here, Andrea. Just kidding. Don't break the law. At least not 2 laws at once. So what else? So I took it upon myself. There is power in, I've told you guys this before, there's power in face-to-face communication, right? Yeah. And got a message earlier today from a fellow delinquent of the workshop, said that what did we call it? Live on the Land in Tennessee. We did that.
With Brian
and Carrie.
Yeah.
And you and Corey in the background cheering us on, playing with the dogs.
Yeah.
But I realized back at Prepper Camp in 2022, when I got to interview Brad, that's 5 times August, how incredible it is to sit down and interview. It's great to interview through live stream. It's great to interview through audio. But when it comes down to it, in-person interviews are where it's at. But they're also the most impossible thing to do at live events because we're running 10 ways from Ragged. So the first thing I found is to schedule it ahead of time, to talk to the person and say, hey, I need you to, or I would like to meet up with you, and then find a spot in there.
Yeah, because even if you don't go in expecting to schedule a time, because you were trying to schedule a time with John
the entire
weekend, and it took like 3 days to get it. So because everything,
but putting it on the agenda early on helps. So the first day, what day was, so Friday, after I did my presentation, Nicole did hers. We sat down and skipped most of lunch, and we did a 45-minute in-person meetup chat, which I wanted to do for a while. And then John Pugliano, for those of you guys who know him, he hasn't been on the Workshop podcast yet, but he will be now, and it's going to be a great interview. I got about 40 minutes with him. This was the kind of multitasking we did this weekend. So I had to, I never even mentioned this. Nicole, I show up on Wednesday night. She's like, hey, you want to MC, Tim? I'm like, what the hell does that mean? But sure, why not? She said, all you got to do is get up and be funny. I said, well, I can get up and do it. I'm just not going to be funny. And she laughed, and that was the end of that. So, so anyway, I MC'd the whole event, which was great because when you're at these events, people come to see Nicole, 100%. I mean, they come to see a lot of people, but it's Nicole's event. And the hardest thing is when you're MCing, you have to be at every presentation to introduce every person. So it freed her up to be able to spend more time walking and talking. She's like, hey, if you ever need a break, just grab someone else to do the MC for that time.
And I think that's what contributed to the tiredness a little bit, though, because we couldn't drag our asses in the morning because we had to be there at a certain time. But it gave us a time frame.
It did, yeah. Because last year, to be honest,
we did drag our asses.
There was a few times we didn't get in. We didn't get in time for the first presentation, and But whatever, I loved it. It was great, and so I had the honor of introducing Nicole. I had the honor of introducing Joel Riles, introducing John Pugliano, John Willis, and Sean Mills as well. If you're out there listening, Sean, it wasn't really an honor, but hey, there you go. No.
And Hog's Eye,
Hog Eye Farms.
I'm trying to figure out. Actually, no, I got the agenda right here.
So that was awesome. Now,
you don't want to miss anything.
No, I won't. We'll work through it. Yeah. So as far as multitasking goes, the last day, so it was yesterday, Saturday, in the afternoon, Sean Mills was doing one on building a schoolie, a converted school bus. So I said, all right, John Pugliano, we're going to, as soon as I introduce him, that'll give us about 45 minutes to sit down outside, interview, and then I'll get back in to introduce the round table that includes me, Sean Mills, and Joel Riles. So anyway, we ran into some technical difficulties. Took us an extra 10 or 15 minutes to get started. So as John Pugliano and I are there interviewing, Joel Riles comes by and I holler out to him. I'm like, hey, you can buy me another 10 minutes. When Sean's done, you get up there and do the MC for me. So he did give me just enough time to finish up the interview with John Pugliano before we went in and did our round table. So it was great. It was fun. I didn't even lose my voice.
No, and Joel came in and he goes, Tim says you got 10 minutes. He's like...
Which was great. It was awesome. Yeah. I needed that. It was nice to be able to rely on friends. It was nice to see a lot of friends too. What were the highlights for you, baby doll?
Seeing everybody.
Yep.
Front that we met before and meeting all the new people that came.
Yeah, about half of the crowd was new this year.
Yeah, and but it's nice seeing familiar faces.
It is.
It is because then you get to you recognize them and you know who they are. And of course, after the event last year, a lot of them added me on Facebook.
Yeah, and
I added a bunch of people on Facebook, and it's like you have that connection all year, so that when you do see them, you're not you don't feel like you're a stranger anymore.
Absolutely, so. We're family now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's cool. It's neat that there's so much being built around the Self-Reliance Festival right now too. So many connections, so many new people, was just, oh man, it was awesome. We had a grand time. The my presentation went really well, didn't it? I enjoyed it. I love it. I put so much work into them, and by the time I finally get to it, there's Grace. I said, couldn't be more proud of you guys. That's our middle daughter, and she means it. She's not just bullshitting, so. But the presentation, I've probably told you this before, but this is, I start a couple of months before the event. If it's a new presentation, if it's an older one, I can modify it. I modify it for each event, but I spent a couple of months ahead. You come up with a title, then you come up with, a brain dump, put everything on paper. Then you move it around and you get for me, I get a full script, top to bottom. So it's about 6 pages for an hour presentation, maybe 7. And then you let it sit for a while, you let it percolate. Then you go back, you edit it, get it to where you want it to be. Then you turn that into a 1-page outline. Then I bring both with me when we drive. And each night, Mrs. Cook is graceful enough to allow me to practice my presentation, to go over it with her, sometimes fully clothed and sometimes in my underwear. And she enjoys it. So no mental pictures for anybody. I apologize. But I put a lot of work into those so that people really enjoy them. And I nailed it. So it was good.
No, you did
it
really
was
well.
Awesome.
Yeah, there was, I don't know if she listens to your lives or your podcast or anything, but there was a really nice lady, and her name was Mindy.
Mindy was awesome.
Yeah. But I didn't get her last name. I don't know if Nicole would have it, so I could add her on Facebook, but or she can add me on Facebook. I really enjoyed chatting with her, and I hope she can make it next year.
Oh, she was
and
awesome.
She had mentioned going to Self-Reliance.
Good.
And
bring her husband along, right?
Yes, and then seeing Wendy.
Yes. Yeah, Wendy, Joel's wife.
Yeah, and then Corey came on Saturday, so I got to hang out with Corey, which was
Corey Alexovich, Brian's wife. And
no, I really like Corey a lot. I like hanging out with it.
Nicole couldn't get you up to do karaoke, could she?
I don't do karaoke.
You say that. I never did it before I came last year either. So.
I don't do karaoke.
Yeah. Thanks, Andrea Snow. Said it was a terrific presentation. Give us a big hug after the presentation. So we'll reach out to her in the Haas said, how many presentations did you do? So I did a Friday. Yeah. So Friday morning, I opened up with I don't even know what to call it. Murdering the Poverty Mindset, Get on the Bus. There's a few names for it. You guys will enjoy that. So I did that one Friday morning. And then Saturday afternoon, I did a 3-person panel with Joel Riles, Sean Mills on entrepreneurship, where we just opened the floor for questions. We shared things like our worst day in business ever, how our business changed from when we started to when we ended, or not when we ended, but where we're at now, our biggest dream going forward. And it was just it was a lot of fun because there's so many people there who are thinking, well, do I want to move forward with it? Where do I start? Where, everybody's at different places in life for it. And it was fun. It was a great time. And then last night, I didn't do a salon, but I said, hey guys, anybody who wants to come over here and sit in a circle and pick my brain, it'll be great. As far as, some announcements to come out of this too, right?
Yes.
We are officially announcing the workshop for the weekend of August 5th and 6th. Tickets are going to go on sale next Monday, and it's going to be in Provost, Alberta. We're going to have it in our town. Now, who do I know that is coming to speak so far? Well, I'll be there, so that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Becky will be there, so that's 2. And that's it. No, just kidding. But the ones...
although we are enough.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Well, you're enough. I don't know about me, but yeah. So I will announce prices, and when the tickets are going to go on sale, hopefully next Monday. I worked out the PayPal stuff before I left. So also, Chris, our brother from another mother in Alberta, he is going to be there, and he's going to come up and do a bunch of things, probably some metalworking, some blacksmithing, talk about entrepreneurship, how he flips things on eBay, different things to make money. Greg, if you guys remember him from the Apocalypse Preparedness School, he's going to be coming to be talking about bushcraft, tracking, navigating in the woods. And are you guys ready for this one? This is the big one. I have other people who are hopefully coming, but I won't mention we can't mention their names
not
yet.
until we get confirmation.
Not until we have confirmation. But in case you guys are wondering, Nicole Sauce is going to be appearing, her one and only international appearance for 2023 at the Workshop in Provost, Alberta from August 5th and 6th. It's gonna probably spread on either side by a day, but those are the 2 main days we're going to do it. Yes. So when I went to Lftn last year, I told Nicole, I said, I'm coming down here to find out how to run an event. And I watched it, and after I left SRF last year, I called her on the phone on my way back, and I said, hey, I'm going to do one like this. What kind of tips do you have? And we're doing it. We are absolutely doing it. So also, I believe I picked up another sponsor for the podcast. I'll let you guys know here in a couple of weeks once we work it out, which is great. What else? Oh, and I also announced that we're going to be doing a public speaking webinar course. It's going to be a paid course where you sign up. It looks like it's going to be about 10 weeks where I take you through. We're going to limit it probably to about 10 people. I'm going to take you through all of the basics of getting comfortable speaking. You're going to be doing some speaking, live streaming, and then the end of it is going to be you are going to kind of not to graduate, but to get a discount on your total registration. You'll need to do some sort of live speaking event in your town, and that could be a 10-minute talk at the library in front of 2 people, whatever it is. But that's going to be so. Basically, what this is going to do is it's going to empower you with the tools, the tips, and the tricks to be a better presenter, public speaker, podcaster, live streamer. And it's also, the important thing is it's going to get you over the fear of getting up in front of people, right?
Yes.
And we're going to do it. So we're going to, this summer, we're going to launch that. I've got a few people on the waiting list for it already. So if you're interested, send me a message on Telegram and we'll get you hooked up with that as well. What else we got? Oh, man, yeah. So we're just going to drop all the announcements tonight because why the hell not? Right away, we have a new the next offering, the 2023 Workshop Silver Rounds are coming back. Price is going to be a little bit higher. Anybody who bought before, anyway, you're going to get an email. I'll announce a little bit more as it comes along. They're going to be an ounce and a half again, and we're going to have a couple of package deals as well, which is going to be great. Brian and I are going halves on it again, so it helps a little bit. So keep an eye out for the Workshop Silver 2023. The design is the same, but it's going to be inverted. So everything that was sunk before will be out. Everything that was out will be sunk. So I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait. What else we got? Some new patch designs that we worked on this weekend. And I mentioned, also. So the interviews with Nicole and Job Pugliano are going to be part of a new ongoing series. I'm pretty sure I've settled on the title of Face to Face. Just unless we can come up with something better, I kind of like that. So it's going to be a monthly interview series. I'm going to be spending the summer going to events, and at each event, I'm going to sit down with at least 2 people, one who launched the event or founded the event, and then someone else. We'll see where we go with it. And it'll be a monthly. There'll be a high production value interview on YouTube, and then of course the audio will be in the podcast as well. So we got a lot on the go, don't we? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty excited. And in the meantime, we got a 4-day drive this time. We're going to take a little longer. We're going to meander up and across, and we're going to end up in Montana this time, so we can stop at our Montana mailbox, pick up anything and everything. There's at least 10 parcels from people who send.
Well, and I'm hoping, and also too, going that way, I'm hoping I can hit a Disney store for Gracie, because I promised, if she's still on here.
Yeah, if she's still on, we'll do our best to find her something.
Yeah.
The girls, all the kids have been holding the fort down for us while we've been gone. And then, so yeah, we're gonna stop in Montana, straight north to Edmonton, and then back home. Haas says, getting shit done, Tim. So awesome. Thank you. I couldn't do it without her though. So what are you looking forward to, Mrs. Cook, this summer? Now that we've got Lftn behind us, what do we need to do next?
Well, we get back. You have to basically balls to the wall on that trailer.
Yep, I do. Because it's rented.
Because it's rented.
Oh, can I cut in right quick?
Yeah.
So one more thing, guys. We had 3 vacant rentals while we were gone. We knew they were going to be gone. I hired this incredible guy. I call him a kid. He's in his mid-20s, but he's a kid. His name is Nick. If you're listening, buddy, I love you. You're great. He's taken care of a lot of things. Anyway, we have managed to fill all 3 rentals while we've been gone, including our last personal rental that we own. So
Byron wants your address.
oh yeah, I will. I'll post it in the Telegram group afterwards, Byron. Just remind me, and I'll make sure I get it in there for you. So yeah, so that's been awesome. So yeah, sorry I cut you off, but what do we got on the go?
One thing, anybody in I guess you can say internet land.
Yes.
This idiot wants to buy another generator from Harbor Freight. So if anybody has any coupons that maybe they're kind of rolling around that he can use for one, please send it to him so he can pick up a generator. But no, so like when we get back, we have to.
We got what, 3 weeks?
Got 3 weeks to get that trailer up and running, and then and we can actually. We'll say I don't know if she listens or not, but Tanya's been great.
Oh yeah,
with that trailer. She's been doing some painting and she hauled some garbage for us today, which was awesome. Thank you, Tanya. We really appreciate it. And then we have Washington.
Mm-hmm.
But in the 3 weeks, you're working on the trailer, and I'm going to bust my ass getting the new license and the building because we're franchising up to Lloyd with the daycare.
Yeah, so you've got that. That's the idea you came up with while we were on the road.
Yeah, no.
Byron says he thought I was buying 2 generators. Stop getting me in trouble, Byron. Okay. Yeah, so I just signed up. So Haas just said you get the emails, Tim. They give you lots of coupons in those. So I just signed up for them today. I actually signed up for the Harbor Freight. What do they call it? Membership? Or something?
But the last coupon you used, it was something that somebody had gotten from mail.
Yeah, it was one of those, hey, we miss you. Come back and spend some money with us. I got like 20% off in the generator. Yeah. So I don't necessarily expect it, but we'll ask if anybody.
If you got one sitting on your counter and it's just going to go in the trash.
Or search around on, just check your spam, just happen to see if there's one of those, hey, we miss you coupons. But if not, that's okay too. Yeah. But and for the record, it's just a little suitcase one this time. So, it's not that expensive. But.
Yeah. So then we've got Washington. And in the meantime, I'm going to work on the daycare.
Yep.
And I think today I've made up my mind. I'm going to try to find 2 locations up in Lloyd.
Yeah. So two satellite locations in the city 1 hour away from us.
Yeah, because I was thinking of Edmonton, but I think that might be too much. But I don't know. It all depends on what I can come up with. So something's going to happen either way. And then when we get back from Washington, then it's just basically
get ready for the workshop.
Well, the girls are going out east.
Yes.
And then I guess you changed your mind. So I guess we're going out there to pick them up.
Yeah, like a week before our workshop. So
which I don't really think would be a good idea.
I know we might have to reconsider that for a second time. Yeah. But anyway.
Because I really do think that might be too much.
I think it will be. But we'll figure that out. We will. Yeah, but you're probably right because we're excited for the workshop. That's what we've wanted to do this for a while. Well, I have.
Well, maybe your mom and dad can come out for the workshop.
Oh, that would be nice. Maybe we could fly all 4 of them out. See how we do that? This is how we brainstorm. We just, I don't know. We just randomly talk to one. I mean, I guess that's what husband and wives do, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it might be too much. But that's the plan because then right after the workshop, like 2 weeks after, you're coming back down here.
Yeah. No, more almost. Yeah, about 3.5 weeks. So.
Yeah, because any time after the workshop, you could technically come down.
That's true.
But again, I think Nova Scotia workshop here, I think that's going to be too much.
Yeah.
And I think that, and we like doing it, but we don't want to get burnt out at the same time. Right.
Because if we do, we're no good to anybody.
No.
And I don't want to be that guy who shows up to an event fucking cranky and can't be on because I don't mean this in a bad way, but if people come to see me, and they spent money to come and see me, then I need to be there and be available to everybody, right? I would expect
don't want
the
you
same
to be
thing.
burnt out.
No, I don't want to be burnt out.
And of course, and then with doing the new daycares and everything, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away.
Right.
So because
you'll definitely come down for Self-Reliance Festival.
I am coming to Self-Reliance Festival. Yes. You'll already be down here.
I will. So you'll fly into Nashville.
I don't know if I'll fly or if I'll drive. Maybe the girls
bring your vehicle down.
Yeah, maybe the girls and I will be driving because
they'd have to take time off from school.
I know, but they really want to come.
I know
down.
They want to see the land in Tennessee. So
I don't know. We might fly. I don't know. We'll figure that when it gets to it. But
Brian in the 2 things. Brian Alexovich in The Telegram group just asked if we know what our route is. We do. We're probably going to bypass Camden, and I apologize, but we got to make hours tomorrow. So straight to Omaha. The beauty of the route that I planned out this time, because that's what I do, it's 100% interstate right to the Canadian border. There's none of this. So in North Dakota, it's about 4 hours of state highways, twisty, turny, stop and start.
Is Brian listening?
Yeah, he just messaged. Yeah, I know,
Okay.
and I also need to message you, Brian.
We need to
tonight,
talk to you, Brian.
It's good. It's good news. It's good news. We have an idea we want to run by you. So
yeah.
So my route, heading back, our route, tomorrow, Omaha, 11 hours on the road. Day 2, Rapid City, South Dakota, 7 hours on the road. Day 3, Butte, Montana, 8 hours on the road. Day 4, Edmonton, 9.5 hours on the road. Spend the night, 2.5 hours home. So that is the plan. So 4 nights on the road. We're going to spread it out a little bit because I've got a bunch of parcels in Montana, a bunch more in Edmonton that have already been shipped across the border for me.
Yep.
So we'll pick all that up. You guys will get to see all the fun shit from that have been sent to us for review. So it's going to be cool. And yes, Brian, I'll send you a message in a little bit. It's we had a good idea we wanted to share with you. All right, from there, what else? Yeah, that covers our summer, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a short summer.
It will, but it's going to be a productive, incredible summer. We're building our brand, we're building our community, we're building our riches, we're building our business.
Yeah, and actually, and another exciting thing too, the trailer will be done.
Right.
So then we can start on the other apartments.
Yeah, we're going to start renovating the other rentals.
Yeah, so that'll be nice.
So let's slide back to Lftn for a couple of minutes, and we'll call her quits before too long because you. So,
I'm okay.
I know. I'm tired too. Yeah, no worries. So, if somebody's never gone to an in-person event, now,
because I had never gone last year.
No, you hadn't. What do you remember? Anything you were nervous about?
Just meeting the people.
Yeah.
Because, well, like from like an introvert.
Sure.
Perspective, which I think I'm kind of growing out of, because I think it's true. The older you get, the less you give a shit. So
I love you.
No, it's true. Like, but if you're younger than what I am, and like especially if you're a woman going there by yourself, the one thing that a woman's always worried about is whether or not they're going to be judged, whether or not people are gonna, like, if they wear a certain article of clothing, someone's going to make fun of them, or if they say something different, if people are going to look at them weird, or you know what I mean. And that can go from a man's perspective too. Like, oh, well, if I go here and if I say this, are they going to make fun of me?
Right.
Or if I tell somebody, no, I don't know anything about solar power, or I don't know anything about chickens, and like, are they going to laugh me out of the, you know what I mean? Like, and I found that that we're all there for the same reason.
Did anybody laugh you out?
Nope. Nobody will laugh you out there at all. Nobody, like, there's no such thing as stupid questions or lack of knowledge that's going to cause you to get made fun of, like, because you're there to learn. Right. And if you tell somebody, hey, like, I've never been on a farm, like, what's that chicken doing? Like, they're not going to laugh at you, like, and they're not going to make fun of you, and they're not going to, like, berate you or anything like that. And it doesn't matter. And like, even if you're sitting in your chair, like what I did a couple times, and I didn't want anybody to think that I was being rude or anything, but sometimes I think that's still that little introverted in me, where
baby, yeah.
I have to sit in the chair and I just sit on my phone, and I have to, like, decompress a little bit. And it's just because I'm just a little overwhelmed, and I didn't want anybody to take offense to that. But it's just, but if you need to do that, nobody bothers you about that, and here I am still, I might have offended somebody, because if someone talk and I was just kind of ignoring everybody, but I have to decompress or I get overwhelmed. But it's just, but I found, but nobody ever, like, there's no judgment. None. And that's pure anarchy. Or voluntarism, whatever you want to call it. And that's what I love, because, and we had never experienced it before, even up until I got there last year, it was all theory in my brain, right? It was all theory in our head. Like, okay, voluntary association is great, but people are still people. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what kind of people did you find at Lftn last year and this year? Well, and like, without like, and I do not say this in an offensive way, and I don't say this in a hurtful way at all, but we're all fucking weird.
Right.
And that's what it is. And
yes, we are.
But it's not in a bad way.
No.
At all. Like, we're all weird. We all have our quirks. We're there to have a good time. Yeah, we're all loud. We're all obnoxious. But
if you drink, it's cool. If you don't drink, it's not cool.
If you smoke, it's cool. If you don't smoke, it's cool.
If you're a Christian, it's cool. If you're an anarchist, it's cool. If you're a friggin' Satanist, it's cool.
Well, and like with me, and like I've been having a hard time eating meat and stuff like that. So if you don't eat meat, they don't look at you like, oh, you know. But no, like Andy in the kitchen was awesome. Like, he found me stuff that I could eat. But it's just but they don't care.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just like what. And I think out of the whole weekend, John's presentation was probably the one that stuck with me the most.
John Willis, how come?
Yeah, because I don't know. There's just like what I said to you in the truck on the way home, or way back there last night. I'm like, I find John's energy matches mine.
It's true.
And like you and I have matching energy, but my energy is more intense than what yours is, and John's energy is intense, and I think I respect that about him, because he seems like one of those ones that. Like, I could go up to him and say, hey, let's get this shit done, and let's get it done 3 days ago. And he has that intensity that I have, where you get the shit done, but you like to take your time to do it. You know?
Sure.
And I found with his presentation and stuff, like, even listening to him talk, it's like, holy shit, he sounds like me. And I really like that. Like, I like that intensity.
We're all weird but prepared.
Exactly.
I love it. Yeah, we're all weird. We are all weird.
But I found with his presentation, what stuck with me is that when he said, don't worry about it.
Right.
Like, just come in there. Don't worry about what people say. Right. Like, but the thing is, though, you don't have to worry about anybody saying anything, because nobody there is saying anything.
It's true.
And that's what it is.
Andrea said, he said, it was great to meet y'all in person. Almost home, losing reception. Have a great night, Andrea and Russ. It was good to meet. It was awesome to sit and chat with you. And Russ and I sat for a solid hour last night, and he just shared his passion with me. And that, to me, that is absolutely the best part. But so what would you tell, especially a single woman going to Lftn or Self-Reliance Festival for the first time?
Well, I've never been to Self-Reliance Festival,
okay,
so I can't.
Fair enough.
I can't quote on that.
Okay, we'll talk. Yes,
but if you're coming to Lftn, and it helps that Nicole runs it too, because like, she is a woman. So, but if you're shy and you're reserved and you don't know what to think, if you come, just find another woman.
Yeah.
Right. And as soon as you get yourself into the group of women and you start talking, then you just start spreading out, because then these women will introduce you to other people, and then and it's just like a constant, like, everybody, and then you're on like a first name basis, and everybody knows everybody, and everyone's there to help each other.
I want to let's tell a story about the gas station. Remember? So okay, I'm gonna start. She's gonna tell the story.
Okay.
So my presentation was all about killing the poverty mindset. And you guys have heard me say it, and you guys all know what's our mantra around here. Anytime somebody does something great, we have to razz them by saying it must be nice. Or mostly you razz me by saying it must be nice.
Yeah.
So I told a story about the time I took a drive with somebody, and I thought they should be excited about the person they met. And when they got back in the car, it was, they must be nice. And I always said, well, what I said the other day was, if you want to know the measure of a successful person, they get infectiously joyous and excited about someone else's success. To me, that's it. So the must be nice mindset needs to go. So the other morning, we were running behind. I said, I'm going to grab a McDonald's sandwich. And I said that we needed some diet caffeine to get us through.
And actually, to interrupt that.
Go ahead.
Can someone please bring Diet Pop next year?
There was some. To begin, we brought a bunch with us. We'll make sure there'll be more there.
Diet Coke, please. Diet Coke, please.
We'll bring a bunch ourselves.
Yeah.
So anyway, you went over to get some Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi at the gas station.
Yeah.
I'm waiting in line. Talk about your conversation at the gas station.
I went up to the cash register, and I had like this shit ton of pop. And there was a girl at the register. Well, there was two girls, and you could tell the one girl was new because the other one was giving her instructions on what they had to do and everything. And then the manager made a comment about how well she was doing. And I was like, man, that's good. Like, she's boosting up her confidence and everything. And then she goes, I can't believe how quick you caught on. I can't believe how good you're doing. Yeah.
Which is a positive.
Which
thing.
is totally positive.
And she meant it.
And it was legit. Yeah. And then I made a comment. It's like, well, it's great when you can hire people and they catch on so quickly, and you don't have to feel, and then you don't feel like you have to hover over them all the time, and you can trust them, and you can trust that they're going to get the job done.
Yes.
And then she's like, oh, she goes, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I own a daycare. And she goes, oh, where? Because like, I think she thought I was from around here. And I told her, I said, no. I said, we're from Canada. And then she's like, and then she proceeded to tell me that she has all her education and how she used to work at a daycare and everything. And I was like, well, that's awesome. Like, and she goes, oh, but now I'm stuck working here because they don't. And I will go with her on this. Like, childcare workers in the States do not make a ton of money.
Right.
Like they are very, very undervalued.
Employed for other people for sure.
Yeah, they're very undervalued in daycare centers. And then she went on to say that how the government gives parents a whole bunch of money for their kids to have, like, like the subsidized daycare and childcare and everything. And then she proceeded to say that there was a man that comes in that drives a brand new Camaro and has
food stamps,
which I guess is on a card.
EBT card.
Yeah. Because like she was talking to me like I'm supposed to know what it is, but
that's fine. Yep.
But so like it was like a card, and he comes in and he swipes it, and I guess it gives them a balance.
Sure.
And he had $1,100 or something on his EBT card. Okay. And then she said that, well, now he's driving a brand new Camaro and he's got $1,100 on his EBT card. And here I am, my husband and I are both working two jobs, and legit, she goes, it must be nice. And of course, this was on Saturday morning. So I was exhausted. So I wasn't quite on the ball enough, because I probably would have said something along the lines like, well, you could fix that. But my brain
almost laughed though, didn't you?
Because
it was so perfect.
Yeah, and of course, but my brain wasn't working, so I just kind of chuckled to myself, and I'm like, well, have a good day, right? So, and I had to walk out, but I think if my brain was more awake, I probably would have, like, hey, well, you can change that situation, but I didn't, and I couldn't believe it. I was just like, it was the funniest thing I had heard all weekend.
I loved it, because that was. And when we talk about it, that's what it comes down to, was that, 5%, 1% are going to do something with it. And the other 95% are going to be the must be nice crowd. But us delinquents, we're not going to be that, are we?
No, but going back to John's presentation, John Willis, because I had heard his presentation on Saturday, and that's what made me think about it even more, is that what doesn't matter to you?
Right. Why should you give a shit about it? Why does that piss you off?
They have a brand new Camaro. They have $1,100 on their EBT card. What does that have to do with you?
Right.
Nothing.
How does it affect you?
And that's my favorite saying, you do you.
Right. Yes.
Don't worry about it. Like, let them, they could have 50,000 on their EBT card, and they could be driving, a Rolls Royce and live in a mansion. That has nothing to do with you, and there's nothing you can do about it, and there's nothing you can change about that. That's their life.
Right.
You worry about your life.
Because it's all your fault in a good way.
Exactly.
Right? For the better, for the worse, whatever happens in your life, you're in control of it. If you decide you want to do better, you do better. And if you decide you want to lay down and go with the flow, you're going to end up downriver.
Yeah, but if you're working two jobs and your husband's working two jobs and you're not making enough money, change it.
Change something. Absolutely.
Sit
Is
down.
it easy?
No, it's not easy.
No, it's simple, but
obviously,
easy.
if you're working that amount of hours and you're still struggling, you need to sit down and figure out what you're doing wrong.
Right. 100%.
Because that is all self-inflicted, and if you're not happy, change it. But sitting there and whining because everybody else has something that you don't have, get over it.
Ain't gonna do you any good, is it?
No, it's like you think because you whine hard enough, Buddy's going to give you the keys to his Camaro and say, "Here, take my car." Like,
I bet you he doesn't.
I bet you he doesn't.
I might punch you in the face or something.
And I bet you he doesn't give a shit what you think about him.
No.
I bet you he doesn't.
Not even a bit. I hope not.
No.
Who knows? I don't care. It doesn't bother me. You know what? So what? Yeah. Who gives a shit? It doesn't affect us. We just focus on the people and the things that we can influence and do better with. Eh?
Yeah, because anybody that you're sitting there fretting about or envying, they don't give a shit about you.
No.
They don't care.
No.
Like, do you think that for 1 second they're worried that you're worried they're driving a Camaro?
No.
They don't care.
Because they're driving a Camaro.
Exactly. And Camaros aren't that nice anyway.
No. And the other one's bitching at the gas station.
Exactly. Like, nobody cares.
No.
And just worry about you. Just do you. And that's all
I couldn't. Oh, Tori, there she is. Sorry, Tori. It's great to have Wandering Mind here. I mentioned you, Tori, in my presentation at Lftn. We are not beyond exhausted now. We're just exhausted.
Last night we were horrible.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired, but I'm
going
not.
to keep yawning.
Yeah.
It's been a great time. We force ourselves to do this every year. Just after did I talk about you? Yes, Tori, you were the inspiration for my presentation at I keep wanting to call it Sufferline at Living Free in Tennessee. So the entire presentation spun out of that conversation in Telegram a few months ago when I was in the hotel with Mrs. Cook. Tori, you asked, what is the poverty mindset and how do I recognize it? That turned into a podcast, which turned into the inspiration for my presentation, which turned into the entire presentation. And I had to give you credit because it was awesome.
And it's online.
Oh, yes. And if Tori, the whole presentation is now on the YouTube channel and in the podcast feed. So, it was just recorded with audio through my phone, but it always turns out pretty good. You get to hear it. So, All right, Mrs. Cook, you ready to call her quits?
I'm ready.
All right. Sorry, Tori. I know you just showed up, but we are trying to keep our eyes open. I'm trying not to yawn here for you. See, there it goes again. Sorry. All right, guys, we appreciate you. We might try to sneak one more live in on the road. Hey?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, whatever. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. We got 11 hours, which isn't that bad. But the next couple of days will be short. And we will do, there's something special about live streaming from the States, isn't there? I don't know what it is. So appreciate it. Haas says, have a good night. Get some sleep. Be careful on the road back. See you on the flip side. We will. My first live episode back in the workshop studio is going to be episode 300. We're going to time it out that way. The other numbers will get moved around, but it's going to be our celebration episode. Don't know what we're going to do yet, but it's episode 300. So thanks for being with me, Mrs. Cook. Thanks for being my partner. I walked into the washroom today at Harbor Freight, and I don't know what happened. I just smiled, and I said, there's nothing in this world I love more than being on the road with my beautiful wife and how you have encouraged me to do it. And we have built our life so we can do it. Hey, baby.
And he's only saying that because I was at the checkout buying him everything that he threw in the cart.
maybe not. But I love you. All right. Have a great night, guys. I know. Good to see you. Know you, Joe. Sorry you missed us. I know we're in our time zone things is an hour early, but our asses are heading to bed. So, guys, as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.